Hey everybody, it's Jamie here. So, welcome. Today, I am going to talk about the F word. And no, I don't mean fuck. Although it turns out I do say that an awful lot. I didn't realize that I cursed so liberally until I watched my previous videos. So yeah, it's funny how we learn things about ourselves, right? Anyway, so today, no, I want to talk to you about the F word. And I mean forgiveness. So forgiveness is actually a really powerful word and a powerful tool for helping us kind of stop being victims of circumstance or being victims of our own lives. And this is something that I've learned for myself as I've been kind of going through this journey of figuring out how to love myself and how to kind of push myself towards a more positive way of thinking and positive perceptions and making positive changes in my life. So I'm hoping that sharing some things with you about how I forgave some moments of my past, maybe you can kind of take that and incorporate it into your own life. So I really hope that you find this helpful. So I'm going to share a story with you. And this story actually is what inspired me to make this video. I was talking with a friend last week, and we were talking about this party that we had both attended in high school. And I haven't actually thought about it in a while, but there was a time in my adult life where I thought about this party a lot because it was actually a pretty defining time for me. And a lot of the path my life took into adulthood could be traced back to this one evening. So let me tell you the story. So here's what happened. I want to say 14 or 15. I think it was the summer before my sophomore year in high school. And I went to this party, and I really wanted to fit in. I really wanted to be accepted. I really wanted to be liked. I think everyone can relate to that, especially as a teenager. You really just kind of want to be one of the cool kids, right? So I'm at this party, and I smoked some pot. And I had never done that before, but I wanted to be cool, so I did. And I drank some alcohol. I'm sure you can relate. But anyways, so I'm a pretty small person, and I should say my tolerance was pretty much non-existent back then, so I was definitely a little fucked up. And while I was a little fucked up, eventually at some point, a boy at this party who I thought was very cute convinced me to go off into the woods with him. And so we went off into the woods, and, well, I'm sure you could guess what he wanted to do. So he wanted to have sex. I did not. Nothing really happened except like some making out and heavy petting and whatever, what teenagers do. So, but the funny thing is, everybody at this party was convinced that I just took off into the woods and had sex with this boy. And that's fine, no big deal, except when you're a teenager, the rumor mill is such a thing. And so after this party, all these rumors started going around about how Jamie had sex with this kid in the woods at this party, and oh my God, what a slut. And that kind of became my reputation. So that party defined who I was for the rest of my high school years. So I can remember going through the hallways after that when school started, girls were calling me skank and slut, and I was just constantly needled and poked at. I remember girls like passing me threatening notes in like study hall or in different classes telling me like, I know you were looking at my boyfriend, you damn slut, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like all this crazy shit. So, and you know, we're teenagers, it happens. But the reason I share this story with you is because all of those labels, skank and slut, they really stuck with me. And a lot of like my adult life after I left high school, a lot of the things that I chose, the actions that I took were not necessarily the healthiest for me. And a lot of it came from these labels that I had convinced myself on some level were true about me. And I think I kind of put myself into sort of that victim state where I thought, you know, this is all my fault. Why did I go to that stupid party in the first place? Why did I ever take off in the woods with that boy? That boy didn't even really like me. He was just trying to get some. Fuck everybody. I hate this. Nobody understands. Blah, 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 whatever. So all of this shit just kind of piled in. And I took that all throughout high school and well into my adult life. So this is something that I really held on to. And it's, I feel like a lot of people probably have stories like that. Maybe not exactly like mine, especially if you're a boy. I mean, things are a little different for you. So, but a lot of people kind of go through things like this when they're teenagers. And there are these defining moments that kind of convince you that this is who you are as a person. And so there was a point where I learned how to forgive. And this is what I really want you to kind of take away from this. So as I got older, I started to recognize that I don't have to be those labels that were given to me back when I was 14, 15 years old. I can be who I want to be. I don't have to be closed off. I don't have to be defensive all the time. And I know I talked in my last video about how I was kind of just an angry person. I was bitter. I was always on guard. I was just really kind of a bitch. And a lot of it ties back to this, where I got these labels and I convinced myself that anyone who showed any kind of affection towards me, especially male, they were trying to get something from me. These are all things that I had convinced myself, all based off of this one moment in my life. And so after time, after I started to kind of go through some self-change and like look within myself and try to work through some of these issues, I realized that the biggest thing that I needed to do was forgive the situation, forgive the people who started those stupid rumors, and most of all, forgive myself for being in the situation. And that's a really big thing, and I think that a lot of people don't recognize that sometimes. It's not always just about forgiving other people. It's not always everybody else's fault that you internalize these things. I mean, that's not their fault that this happened. I'm sure the kid just thought I was hot and wanted to go make out in the woods and have sex because, you know, that's what boys do. And whatever, like, I can't be mad at him for that. He was just being a teenager, just like I was being a teenager, right? And I can't be mad at all those other kids that started spreading all these rumors, because I'm sure they were just feeling similar to me. They wanted to fit in. They wanted to be accepted. So if one person has the opinion, oh, Jamie's a slut because she went into the woods, then the other kid's going to want to fit in and say, oh, yeah, that slut, and then it just kind of continues like that, because everyone's just trying to be accepted, right? So I can't hold on to that and be mad and fault people for just being people, right? So I forgive them for that. And then I forgive myself, because I could go through it over and over and over again in my head. Why did I do this? Why did I choose this? Why did I choose this? How did I let this happen? Why didn't I stand up for myself more? Why did I let these people affect me so much? It doesn't matter anymore, you know? Because now I can say, I know who I am. I know I'm not a slut. I know I'm not a skank. I know that I'm not a bad person. I know that everything that I do is with positive intention. I know that the choices that I'm making because I feel that they're right at the time. And if I'm comfortable with my choices, then I can forgive myself when things don't go the way that I necessarily wanted them to, right? And so this does take a lot of time. And I would really encourage you to maybe take a look at some of the things that you might be holding on to. Are there things in your life that you need to let go of? Are there people in your life that you need to forgive? Are there situations in your life that you found yourself in that you maybe need to forgive yourself for? I would encourage you to take a moment to look at some of that and start the process of working towards forgiveness in these situations. And I think you'll find that when you reach that place of forgiving yourself and forgiving the people that may have been involved in some sort of negative situation for you, it's such a relief. It's like a weight lifts off of your shoulders. And that might sound like a little over the top and hokey, but it's absolutely true. When I think about who I was just 5 or 6 years ago, because I was still holding on to a lot of this stuff, and I think about where I am now, like, I had such a weight on me all the time, and to live life every day just angry and defensive and untrusting and unable to be close to people, that's a really lonely kind of existence. And if this is something that you feel, if this is something that you resonate with, I strongly encourage you to really look at what you might be able to let go of to move forward, and who you can forgive and how you can forgive yourself. I'm not saying this happens overnight. I'm not saying that I just sat down and meditated one day and thought, hey, I'm going to forgive everything bad that ever happened in my life and I'm great. So this has been a 5-6 year journey. This is not something that happens quickly, but taking a moment to take stock of some of these things and recognizing what might need to be let go of is at least the first step. So that's what I'm going to leave you with, and I thank you very much for letting me share this with you. If you like this video, click that button down there to let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you feel like sharing, because that's my favorite thing in the world, let me know in the comments below, what are you going to let go of? And was this helpful for you? I'm really curious to know. All right, I will hope to hear from you guys, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.